Hey, I'm Rob, and welcome to Understanding Upstate, the podcast dedicated to exploring what makes upstate New York such a unique place. Each week, my co-host Jim Search and I dive into a new upstate topic to better understand what's up upstate, and this week, we had a capital idea to talk about Albany, New York. Hey.
Holy shit. That is, if that's not wordplay, I don't know what is, man.
Yeah.
I don't. And you did it.
Pretty good. For those who don't know, Albany, the capital of New York State. Someone might not know, you know?
I mean, hey, listen, if we have, we'd have to look at like the demographics of where our listeners are coming in from, but
there's like one person in New Zealand who has tuned in a few times, and I'm gonna trust they don't know that Albany is the capital of New York State. International, baby. Upstate's gone international. I love it. True. It's true. And it's kind of it'll serve kind of as a post-mortem, as we've talked about for Albany, as the Metro North line is extending to Albany, which by our definition means it will then no longer be included in our definition of upstate.
Sure.
It's going to be messy. Again, we're going to weed out every single reference we've ever made to Albany on any other episode. You might just hear a few, like 10 seconds of silence, but that's our dedication to the craft, you know?
Now, Rob, I noticed you were saying our definition, but I would like to say the definition.
Fair enough. The definitive definition.
This is the official ruling, and I will not entertain anything else other than, and I will fight anyone who says otherwise.
Oh man, this isn't quite an upstate update, but I just remembered a little anecdote that I think you're going to enjoy. As I was prepping for today's episode, I was trying to look up our text thread, and instead of typing Jim, I just instinctively typed Binghamton into and it pulled you up. So I figured you might enjoy that.
Listen, that is, I've said it many times on this show, and I will say it again. Some have accused me of having my entire personality being from upstate New York, and I said, that is a compliment. Thank you so much. I appreciate you seeing me for who I am. That is a native of upstate New York, baby.
Now I was like, what the fuck did I just do? I was like, wait, that might actually be more succinct way of pulling up that thread.
You're gonna see exactly who I am and what I represent, baby. That's right. You motherfucking right.
Hey, if you, the listener, want to share with others what this podcast represents, you should first subscribe so you don't miss anything. But then you can rate and review the show, because that helps other people find the podcast. Throw us 5 stars, and then also write a positive review, and you can throw in a suggested topic for a future episode. Every episode we record, Jim, I feel like I uncover like 3 more things from upstate New York that could be potential episodes. So there's a wealth of topics out there that we have yet to even discover.
Hey, and we have a episode coming up soon that just kind of happened organically, right? Like so there really is an unending list of things to talk about in regards to upstate New York. And that's one of the reasons I do appreciate our show, is that there is so much that upstate has to offer, and we are shedding a light on that, and that's pretty dope. So keep on listening, Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's.
Well, should we shed some light on a recent review we got?
Holy moly guacamole, I think that we should.
Yeah.
I think that we should.
Let's do it.
Now, shall I take
Please
this one?
Please do, because I don't have it pulled up.
We are each other's crutch, therefore we will never fall. As Jay-Z once said. All right. So we have an email from Jennifer with the subject line, "You should feature, .. exclamation mark. So here's what we got. The General Clinton Canoe Regatta, which ends in Bainbridge, New York. Also home of the 1999 BG Bobcats high school Class C girls basketball state runners up.
Wow, that is a vocal warm up if I have ever heard one.
That's a lot of letters. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of hyphens.
Sure.
And that is a fact. And we're not even finished.
No.
That area gets no love. I'm from Bainbridge, if it wasn't obvious. Thanks, Jennifer. Jennifer, first and foremost, thank you so much for taking the time to email us here at the podcast. We really appreciate it. And say less. We will certainly throw that into our endless list of topics to discuss here on the podcast and get into the General Clinton Canoe Regatta and also Bainbridge, New York, which I feel like I've passed through at some point in my life.
It's in Shenango, right?
In Shenango County, yeah.
It's, I don't know how close to Binghamton it is, but it's closer to Binghamton than not, right? Like,
sure.
Certainly closer than Buffalo is.
It's, let's find out. We're going to find out how close that is. Yeah, it's like a half hour from Binghamton. So we're in the same universe.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. We are very close in relation, Bainbridge, Binghamton, New York.
We would love to bridge the gap to Bainbridge in a upcoming episode. I'm looking at some beautiful lithographs of Bainbridge right now. I'm liking what I'm seeing, Jim. I'm liking it. Sure. But we're not here to talk about Bainbridge today. Today we're talking about Albany, and my God, there's a lot to dig into. It's been around a long time, which means we got a lot of history to go through, and some contemporary things, of course, as well as we dive back into one of our newer episode topics. I guess just trying to do a nice little survey of a specific upstate city, and of course today that's going to be Albany. So should we get into it?
Hell yeah, let's get into it, dude.
All right, like I mentioned before, Albany is the capital city of New York State, and the county seat of and most populous city in Albany County, appropriately named then. It is located on the west bank of the Hudson River, approximately 10 miles south of its confluence with the Mohawk River. It's got a population of 99,224 people as of 2020, estimated to be a little over 100,000 in 2024, which I found shockingly low. I think the city limits is pretty small. Of course, the metro area is much larger than that. It was founded in 1614. It's the oldest city in New York, older than New York City by like a decade. Which is pretty surprising because it's up there, right? Like, what? Why did they keep going up so far?
Sure.
The city? And it's the seventh oldest continuously inhabited city in the entire United States, with an estimated 913,000 residents in the metro area. It's the fourth most populous metropolitan area in the state. All right, yeah.
I mean, this is the OG of New York State, man.
Yeah, I guess, dude. And yeah, I feel like we haven't talked about Albany that much, right? There haven't been a ton of topics. I think it'll come up anecdotally, but I was delighted to learn more, and let's do just that. Let's get more into the history here.
I've certainly I do have some history in Albany. Okay. I had a friend of mine who went to Albany for college, and I partied with him there one night. And man, they can drink.
Sure.
And also, I should point out, in Albany, I don't know if the place still exists. There was a place that had 25-cent slices of pizza.
Wow,
which is wild.
Is cheap.
It was very cheap. It was very cheap. And yeah, I partied my ass off, and I had a good time in Albany. Nice. I have no no bad reviews of Albany as far as the party scene goes, and it ripped pretty hard.
I've driven through on my way to the Adirondacks. I always like what I see. You're driving around along the Hudson for a little bit. There's some cool islands in the Hudson that are a part of Albany, and yeah, it seems real nice. But I've yet to really spend any time in there. Mostly just passing through. And I'll never go after the train opens because I'm not going to spend time in downstate. I live in downstate.
No,
why would I?
No, you want that upstate shit,
It's
baby.
True. It's true. All right, let's learn a little bit more about its history. So the Hudson River area was originally inhabited by the Algonquin-speaking Mohican tribe. Their area was settled by Dutch colonists who built Fort Nassau in 1614 for fur trading and Fort Orange in 1624. In 1664, the English took over the Dutch settlements, renaming the city Albany in honor of the Scottish title of the Duke of York, the Duke of Albany. Let's see. The city was officially chartered in 1686 under English rule. So again, it's passing hands, but it goes back to 1614. Became the capital of New York in 1797 after the formation of the United States. Albany is the oldest surviving settlement of the original British 13 colonies north of Virginia. So it's all that is to say, it's an old city.
It's a very old city.
Yeah.
And I like how they made so many qualifiers to get to the oldest surviving settlement.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think when we have talked about it before, they film. I'm not sure if the show is still filming new episodes, but like Gilded Age films up in Albany, which is not going back to the 1600s, but there's a lot of old architecture around.
Sure.
And it certainly has an older look because of that. And we'll learn why a lot of that old architecture remains. Let's see. So in the late 18th century and throughout most of the 19th, Albany was a center of trade and transportation. The city lies toward the north end of the navigable Hudson River. It was the original eastern terminus of the Erie Canal, connecting to the Great Lakes, and was home to some of the earliest railroads in the world. In the 1920s, a powerful political machine controlled by the Democratic Party rose in Albany, which we'll talk about. It's kind of hard to talk about Albany without talking about this guy who was mayor for 40 years. It's pretty long run.
That's a crazy run, man.
Yeah, but we'll talk more about that later. Let's see. In the latter part of the 20th century, Albany's population shrank because of urban sprawl and suburbanization. In the 1990s, the New York State Legislature approved for the city a $234 million building and renovation plan, which spurred downtown redevelopment. And there's a kind of a high-tech industry that also grew. So the area is called like Tech Valley. That kind of 21st century development.
Yeah, there was a real, and this was like popped off during COVID, of like businesses relocating to upstate New York because of like the rise of remote work. There was this kind of, I guess, for lack of better words, like bubbling of just like, wow, this could really become like a place where tech companies could go because like you can rent an office up here for a fraction of what you can in New York City. Yep. And all this could be remote. So, I don't know what came of that, but anyway, there you go.
All right. Well, let's. So that's kind of a quick survey. Let's get more into the details, Jim. Let's look at the Mohicans, Mohawks, and then the Dutch prior to 1660. So it was originally inhabited again by the Algonquin-speaking Mohicans, whose word for it I am not going to try and pronounce. But it did mean the fireplace of the Mohican nation. It's super long. Usually I will make a good faith effort
This one's hard.
This is conservatively 40 letters. It's a long name.
It's a multi-syllabic endeavor.
Indeed.
For sure.
Indeed. Let's see. Based to the west along the Mohawk River, the Iroquoian speaking Mohawk called it, their word for it meant through the pine woods, referring to the path they look there. According to Hendrik Alpamot, the Mohicans came to the area from the north and the west. They settled along the Mohicanatuck, which is now called the Hudson River, and called themselves the Mohicanock, the people of the waters that are never still. The Mohawks, one of the 5 nations of the Iroquois Confederacy, were based in the Mohawk Valley and noted for their fur trading and their access to trade between the Iroquois and other nations. The Mohawk became strong trading partners with the Dutch and English. It is likely that the area was visited by European fur traders, perhaps as early as 1540, but the extent and duration of those visits are unclear. Permanent European claims began when Englishman Henry Hudson, exploring for the Dutch East India Company on the Half Moon, which I believe is the ship, reached the area in 1609. Again, Hudson River, named after Henry Hudson.
Sure.
He reached the area in 1609, claiming it for the United Netherlands in 1614. Hendrik Christensen built Fort Nassau on Castle Island, now called Port of Albany, in the Hudson River. The fort acted as a fur trading post and was the first documented European structure in present-day Albany. Commencement of the fur trade provoked hostility from the French colony in Canada and among the natives, all of whom vied to control the trade. 1618, a flood ruins Fort Nassau. The Dutch replaced it with Fort Orange. In 1624, both forts were named in honor of the leading family of the Dutch Revolt, members of the House of Orange-Nassau. Fort Orange and the surrounding area were incorporated as the village of Beverwyck. Beaver District. That's...
We could go with that.
Let's go with Beaver District. 1652 in the city of Albany in 1686. In these early decades of trade, Dutch, Mohicans, and Mohawk developed relations that reflected differences among their 3 cultures. So yeah, a lot of history around there. Which again, like we've talked about other cities before, and there's a lot of history, but we haven't gone back to the 1600s,
right? And like the peak colonization,
yeah,
right? Because this is ours now.
Yeah,
and it's like, but is it though? Because
sure.
There seem to be people here,
for sure. Which is interesting. Like, you know, yeah, it's off of a major river in the state, and that just poised that area to be one of the first ones versus like more inland Buffalo, you know, certainly were like fur traders and stuff who were out there, but you didn't have cities out that far.
Right.
Or colonies, I should say. Let's see. So we get to the British start to to fuck around in 1800. So it's one of the oldest surviving European settlements from the original 13 colonies and the longest continuously charted city in the United States. When New Netherland was captured by the English in 1664, the name was changed to Beaver District or Beverwyck. It was changed from Beverwyck to Albany in honor of the Duke of Albany. I think we should change it back to Beaver District. That's fun. Come on.
that's silly.
That's why I like it. I want to name it after the Duke of Albany, which was a Scottish title given, has been Scottish title given since 1398, generally to a younger son of the King of Scots. What are we doing with that in upstate New York, Jim? We got beavers. We don't have Scottish kings.
We don't.
All right. The name is ultimately derived from Alba, the Gaelic name for Scotland. The Dutch briefly regained Albany in August 1673 and renamed the city Willemstad. The English took permanent possession in 1674 with the Treaty of Westminster. So a lot of changing of events.
Imagine if Albany was Willemstad.
Yeah,
that's fucking corny.
But also, like, that's goofy. There's like Beaver District. That's old news. Willemstad is the way of the future.
That's the wave. Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's the new wave.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. It was the province of New York was split into 2 counties, with Albany County being the largest. It included all of present New York State north of Dutchess and Ulster counties, in addition to present-day Bennington County, Vermont. Oh, theoretically stretching west to the Pacific Ocean. Wow, upstate New York used to be much bigger, Jim.
Sure,
a little bit of Vermont. How about that? Let's take it back. Let's start the campaign to get it back. Let's annex some Vermont. Why not?
Pull on up, man. The water's warm, dudes.
There you go. Let's see. Albany was formally chartered as a municipality by provincial governor Thomas Dongan on July 22nd, 1686. The Dongan Charter was virtually identical in content to the charter awarded to the city of New York 3 months earlier. Dongan created Albany as a strip of land 1 mile wide and 16 miles long. Make it a little wider. What do we do?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You could walk it in less than a half hour.
Jeez. Over the years, Albany would lose much of the land west and annex land to the north and south. At this point, Albany had a population of about 500 people. So that's some of the older history. Let's talk slightly less older history, as Albany played a little bit of a role in the Revolutionary War. Shall we, Jim?
Absolutely. There was a lot Albany had themselves involved all up in. In 1754, representatives of 7 British North American colonies met in the Stad House, Albany City Hall, for the Albany Congress. Benjamin Franklin of Pennsylvania presented the Albany Plan of Union there, which was the first formal proposal to unite the colonies. Although it was never adopted by Parliament, it was an important precursor to the United States Constitution.
Okay, Albany Plan. All right.
Here you go. The same year, the French and Indian War, the fourth in a series of wars dating back to 1689, began. It ended in 1763 with the French defeat, resolving a situation that had been a constant threat to Albany and held back its growth. Violence ensues in the Empire State. Revolutionary War and real estate. In 1775, with the colonies in the midst of the Revolutionary War, the Stad House became home to the Albany Committee of Correspondence. That sounds made up.
It sounds like they write like nice letters to people.
It sounds like a shell company, if I will be honest with you. The political arm of the local revolutionary movement, which took over operation of Albany's government and eventually expanded its power to control all of Albany County. Tories and prisoners of war were often jailed in the Stad House alongside common criminals. In 1776, Albany native Philip Langston signed the Declaration of Independence at Independence Hall in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. During and after the Revolutionary War, Albany County saw a great increase in real estate transactions. After Horatio Gates defeated John Burgoyne at Saratoga in 1777, the Upper Hudson Valley was generally at peace as the war ravaged elsewhere. Prosperity was soon seen all over upstate New York. That's what I'm talking about. Migrants from Vermont and Connecticut began flowing in, noting the advantages of living on the Hudson and trading at Albany, while being only a few days' sail from New York City. Albany reported a population of 3,498 in the first national census in 1790. an increase of almost 700% since its chartering.
Well, it had been over 100 years. You would hope it had some growth.
And also 3,498 people is like, that's like a fraction of Brooklyn, or like arguably the entire population of Binghamton right now. But the fact remains that is not a lot of people. So here we're going to get into the early decades of this country's independence. And I put that in quotes. On November 17th, 1793, fire broke out at a stable belonging to Leonard Gansevoort, destroying 26 homes on Broadway, Maiden Lane, James Street, and State Street. 3 were arrested and charged with arson. Pompey, a man enslaved by Matthew Vishner, Dina, a 14-year-old girl enslaved by Volker P. Dupau, and Bet, great name, a 12-year-old girl enslaved by Philip S. Van Rensselaer. On January 6th, 1798, the 3 were sentenced to death. Governor George Clinton issued a temporary stay of execution, but Dina and Bet were executed by hanging on March 14th, and Pompey on April 11th, 1794. In 1797, the state capital was moved permanently to Albany. From statehood to this date, the legislature has frequently moved the state capital between Albany, Kingston, Poughkeepsie, and the city of New York. Who knew Kingston was the capital of New York State?
I can't remember which way it moved. I think it moved from Kingston during the Revolutionary War. It had moved from Kingston to Albany because they feared the British were going to burn it. Because it's closer to New York City, and they're making their, suspected they were going to make their way up. So they're like, fuck this, let's move the capital.
Let's move it today. Let's move it to Binghamton.
There you go.
Let's make Binghamton the capital of New York State.
There you
I'm
go.
into it. Or Johnson City.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Hell yeah.
I like it.
Albany is the 10th oldest state capital in the United States and the second oldest city that is a state capital after Santa Fe, New Mexico. So that's some news you can use.
If you're a Jeopardy contestant ever, you can absolutely use one of these facts.
And let's say you want to nerd out about all things of our state capital. Mm-hmm. We are the place for you. So let's look a little bit at 1800 to 1942. Albany has been the center of transportation for much of its history. If you think about the map of New York State, it is, again, as we said a little bit before, it's close enough to New York, but a little bit further up, so you have access to all the things in upstate New York. In the late 18th and early 19th centuries, Albany saw development of the turnpike, and by 1815, Albany was the turnpike center of the state. The development of Simeon DeWitt's gridded block system in 1794, which renamed the streets that had originally named after the British royal family with names of birds and mammals instead.
Yeah, give me birds and mammals. Give me more bird and mammal streets.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah. Was intersected by these major arterials coming out of Albany, cutting through the city at unexpected angles. The construction of the turnpike, in conjunction with canal and railroad systems, made Albany the hub of transportation for pioneers going to Buffalo and the Michigan Territory in the early and mid-19th century.
It's kind of crazy. Like, we've talked about like Buffalo later on being like a transportation hub. We specifically talked about it, I think, on the Buffalo film episode, where like it was a central hub for like films to be distributed, and rail boat access was good there. This is like roads are a new thing.
Sure.
Like, hey, have you heard of these paved roads? Well, I guess not even paved. They're just like, let's have this dirt go somewhere.
Let's send it all the way west.
Yeah.
And north.
Yeah.
In 1807, Robert Fulton initiated a steamboat line from New York City to Albany, the first successful enterprise of its kind anywhere in the world. That is pretty wild. Yeah. By 1810, with 10,763 people, Albany was the 10th largest urban place in the nation.
Crazy.
That's hilarious. That's like the hub. That's the mix.
Yeah,
is
dude.
10,000 people. That's a fraction of Brooklyn. That's like half of, not even, it's like a quarter of Bed-Stuy. So where we're, the town and village north of Albany, known as the Colony, was annexed in 1815. In 1825, the Erie Canal was completed, forming a continuous water route from the Great Lakes to New York City. Unlike the current barge canal, which ends at nearby Waterford, the original Erie Canal ended at Albany. Lock 1 was north of Colony Street. The canal emptied into a 32-acre man-made lagoon called the Albany Basin. Who knows who's dumped there? Which was Albany's main port from 1825 until the Port of Albany Rensselaer opened in 1932. In 1829, while working as a professor at the Albany Academy, Joseph Henry, widely regarded as the foremost scientist in the 19th century, built the first electric motor.
Cool.
How about that? 3 years later, he discovered electromagnetic self-induction. He then went on to be the first secretary of the Smithsonian Institution. In 1830 and 1840 censuses, Albany was ranked the 9th largest urban place in the nation. It dropped back to 10 in 1850 because you can't have anything nice there for so long. This was the last time the city was one of the top 10 largest urban places in the nation. Albany also has a significant history with rail transport. As the location of the two major regional railroad headquarters, the Delaware and Hudson Railway was headquartered in Albany at what is now the SUNY System Administration Building. In 1853, Erastus Corning, a noted industrialist and Albany's mayor from 1834 to 1837, consolidated 10 railroads stretching from Albany to Buffalo into the New York Central Railroad, the NYCRR. Headquartered in Albany until Cornelius Vanderbilt moved it to New York City in 1867. Bring it back. One of the 10 companies that formed the NYCRR was the Mohawk and Hudson Railroad, which was the first railroad in the state and the first successful steam railroad running regularly scheduled service in the country.
Oh, wow.
So this is the first fucking railroad that was up and running. That's
I was gonna say steam railroads too. It's the old timey,
and which led to I think in my head as to the rise of New York State and how the prosperity that came with it.
And you throw the Erie Canal in with that.
Yeah,
railroads. Yeah, transportation. Again, this is what we were saying like a little bit earlier. Just having the big ass river there, Hudson River, pretty good river, right?
Solid river.
I think it's the northernmost navigable point for the Hudson River too. So it makes sense why Albany is where it is, right? That's where the boats gotta stop. Transportation.
Something else. While the key to Albany's economic prosperity, as we were just saying, in the 19th century was transportation, industry and business also played a role. Largely thanks to the city's Dutch and German roots, beer was one of its biggest commodities. Beverick Brewery, originally known as Quinn and Nolan being the mayor of Albany from...
They had a Beaverwick Brewery? That's a tongue twister. Beaverwick Brewery. I can't say it, but I'm delighted to know that someone's carrying on the name, Jim. Sure.
It's here for you. Which, as we originally known as Quinn and Nolan being the mayor of Albany from 1878 to 1883, was the last remaining brewer from that time when it closed in 1972.
That's crazy. That's an old...
That's an old-ass brewery.
That survived Prohibition then, too.
Yeah, yeah.
72.
I was just thinking that as well. The city's location at the east end of the Erie Canal gave it unparalleled access to both raw products and capital customer base in the West. Albany was known for its publishing houses, and to some extent still is. Albany was only second to Boston in the number of books produced for most of the 19th century.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
Information and transportation.
All the Asians you want. Iron foundries in both the north and south ends of the city attracted thousands of immigrants to the city for industrial jobs. Intricate wrought iron details constructed in those years remain visible of what are now historic buildings, which we talked about earlier. The iron industry waned by the 1890s due to increased costs associated with the newly unionized workers and the opening of mines in the Mesabi Range in Minnesota.
Woo, Minnesota.
There it is. It's all by design.
It's true.
Albany's major exports during the 18th and 19th centuries were fur, wheat, meat, and lumber. By 1865, the end of the Civil War, there was almost 4,000 sawmills in the Albany area, and the Albany Lumber District was the largest lumber market in the nation. Huh.
And Albany, we're compressing 200 years of history, but up until this point, not saying it doesn't have things going on now, but it had a lot going on up to the 1800s.
If it feels like it could have in so many ways been like the it was like the New York City of the time, it feels like, which could have led it to being, if it stayed on track, like Albany could have been the New York City. But maybe not. Who knows?
I mean, it's kind of a common trajectory. I feel like a lot of the larger upstate cities have. Again, we've talked about Buffalo. Buffalo was massive back in the day compared to other cities, and had tons of industry. And then that, this happens to every city. It starts, it's in a particular location for whatever resources. Those resources go away or things shift. And then, if the town doesn't adapt, it gets smaller, right?
Yeah. And you see the exodus begin. The Dust Bowls pull in. American Express was founded in Albany in 1850 as an express mail business.
Which makes sense. I never thought about the name.
Yeah. I just thought they had money.
Right, yeah.
Albany opened one of the first commercial airports in the world, and the first municipal airport in the United States in 1908. Originally on a polo field on Loudon Road, it moved to Westerlo Island in 1909 and remained there until 1928. The Albany Municipal Airport, jointly owned by the city and county, was moved to its current location in Colony in 1928. By 1916, Albany's northern and southern borders reached their modern courses. Westerlo Island to the south became the second-to-last annexation, which occurred in 1926. Now, we have talked a lot about the infrastructure and trade and transportation of the 1800s to 1942, but 1942 and on is a whole new world. And Rob, tell us what that is.
Let's do it, Jim. So Orestes Corning II, arguably Albany's most notable mayor and great-grandson of the former mayor of the same name. He's the guy that we just talked about a little bit while ago, who consolidated the 10 railroad companies in Albany. He was elected in 1941, and although he was one of the longest-serving mayors of any city in United States history, 1942 until his death in 1983.
Wow.
Can you imagine if today's election day, right? Whoever wins, I certainly have a favorite.
There's a person I like.
Can you imagine
and I can,
if whatever mayor we get today, we had for the next 4 decades? That's a long run. That's crazy.
That's a crazy run, man. That is, I didn't know that would be possible.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I feel like they said perhaps we should put term limits on that activity.
Indeed. So although he was one of the longest serving mayors in United States history, one historian describes Corning's tenure as, quote, long on years, short on accomplishments.
Wow. Shade. That's fucking shade.
It's hilarious. That's my favorite quote I read. Citing Corning's preference for maintaining the status quo as a factor that held back potential progress during his tenure. Like, I think that was his platform, just status quo, right?
Right.
Like, ugh.
Well, if you think about it, if you're a mayor for like 40 years,
Yeah, you don't want things to change.
You don't want you want this to be what it is, man. You want this to rock as it do.
Think about how much things changed from 42 to 83, though, too. That's crazy. Just like any kind of development. Socially, technologically, like that's I don't know how he did it. It's crazy.
Yeah, like you have to even just like even as far as just like cars, right? Like transportation, like in like the 40s, it's like I feel like cars were something of a luxury maybe, but by like the 80s, like like that was kind of commonplace.
Yeah. Well, we had good trains. We had good trains in the 40s. We had better public I guess trains aren't necessarily public transit, but transit was more readily available to the public, if you know what I mean, aside from cars. So while Corning brought stability to the office of mayor, it is said even those who admire him greatly cannot come up with a sizable list of, quote, major concrete Corning achievements. Corning is given credit for saving, albeit somewhat unintentionally, much of Albany's historic architecture, which I talked about at the start of the episode, right? Like there's TV shows now shooting there because there's so much old architecture. I think it's because he didn't want to greenlight any projects.
Nah, change wasn't part of the plan.
No.
Mm-mm.
All right. So during the 50s and 60s, a time when federal aid for urban renewal was plentiful, Albany did not have growth in its economy or infrastructure. It lost more than 20% of its population during the Corning years as people moved to newer housing in the suburbs, followed by most of the downtown businesses moving there as well. While cities across the country grappled with similar issues, the problems were magnified in Albany. Interference from the Democratic political machine hindered progress considerably, being Corning's political machine. He, again, at this point, has been mayor for 20 years. He's running the town, right? In 1960, the mayor sold the city's stake in the airport to the county, citing budget issues. It was known from then on as Albany County Airport until a massive upgrade and modernization project between 96 and 98 when it was rebranded the Albany International Airport. How about that? Governor Nelson Rockefeller tried to stimulate the city with new monumental architecture and large government-sponsored building projects. He drove construction of the Empire State Plaza, SUNY Albany's Uptown campus, and much of the W. Averill Harriman State Office Building campus. These are like huge parts of, just the Albany. I don't necessarily want to say skyline. I think the Empire State Plaza is quite large.
Right.
But yeah, they're a big part of the city. Albany County Republican Chairman Joseph C. Frangella once quipped, quote, Governor Rockefeller was the best mayor Albany ever had. That's funny. Corning, although opposed to the project, was responsible for negotiating the payment plan for the Empire State Plaza. Rockefeller did not want to be limited by the legislature's power of the purse, so Corning devised a plan to have the county pay for the construction and have the state sign a lease ownership agreement, which that was like the only option to do this, so that's what Rockefeller did, which is crazy to see a Republican from then be like, I want to spend a shit ton of money building stuff in your city. Let's do this. Weird kind of turning of tables. But it's a massive project, which we're going to talk a little bit about as we talk about arts and culture in Albany, nightlife and entertainment. Its geographic position makes it roughly equidistant from New York City and Montreal, which is kind of a great place to be, right? And it means it's a convenient stop for nationally touring artists and acts. The Egg, Jim. Are you familiar with the Egg?
I've heard of it. As far as a venue, in my time as a performer,
it's a goofy looking structure. It looks like an egg, kind of. It's cool. It's named for its shape, of course. It was designed by Harrison and Abramovitz as part of the Empire State Plaza project and built between 66 and 78. It is located in the northeast corner of the plaza. It has become an icon of New York's Capital District due to its unusual shape and central location. You can see it if you're driving on the highway through Albany. You get a good eye. You get a good look at the Egg.
I'm looking at a picture of it right now.
It's cool.
It's interesting shape.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird, which is why I like it. It is owned by the state of New York and managed by the Nelson A. Rockefeller Empire State Plaza Performing Arts Center Corporation, a not-for-profit that was created in 1979 to manage the facility. So it took them 12 years to build this thing, which is a long fucking time. It was the final facility completed as part of the Empire State Plaza. It was originally only supposed to take 2 years to build.
Of course. Isn't that how that always goes?
The numerous arcs and complicated design features require uniquely delicate surveying and careful implementation, causing the project to take longer, a lot longer. I mean, but I can appreciate them wanting to make something that looks cool, you know? It debuted to the public on Memorial Day in 1978. Construction supervisor John Byron noted that the spherical shape was designed to bring people closer together in contrast to traditional proscenium theaters that are generally square in orientation. That's kind of nice. All right. The Egg is slightly inclined as a small pedestal on which it appears to sit. In fact, the building is held by a stem that goes down 6 stories into the plaza. Holy moly. That's crazy.
That's pretty nuts.
Attached to the stem is a concrete girdle that surrounds the Egg, enabling it to retain its shape and transmitting its weight to the pedestal. Cool. The building's organic shape reflects Nelson Rockefeller's original goal of architectural design that uses the fine artistic elements of sculpture. Has 2 theaters, the 450-seat Louis A. Swire Theater and the 982-seat Kitty Carlisle Hart Theater. Like not massive theaters. Certainly not tiny, but you look at that thing and I
would think it would seat more than that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a small venue. All right, let's talk about the Tulip Festival, Jim, shall we?
The world famous.
Yeah. Have you heard of the Tulip Festival?
No.
Okay. I was like, I haven't heard of the Tulip
Not
Festival.
A day in my life.
It's kind of cool. It's held in Albany, New York, every spring. Wouldn't it be crazy if it was held somewhere else? Of course, it's held in Albany. Each year, the event lasts for a weekend and coincides with Mother's Day. Oh, that's nice. The festival originated as a result of Albany becoming sister cities with Nijmegen in the Netherlands following World War II. In gratitude, Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands sent 2,000 flower bulbs to Albany. And on July 1st, 1948, Albany's Mayor Erastus Corning II got a city ordinance passed declaring the tulip as the city's official flower. Well, hey, he did something, right? Add that to the short list.
Sure. He got something done.
In addition, he sent a request to Queen Wilhelmina to name a variety of the flower as Albany's tulip. Wow, bold.
Strong.
On July 11th, 1948, her Her Majesty gladly accepts the invitation to designate a tulip as the official flower of Albany. She picked the variety Orange Wonder, a slow-growing and relatively rare 18-inch tall tulip that is orange-shaded with a scarlet toward the center. Albany's got its own tulip.
Who thought and who knew that?
Pretty cool.
I didn't know that going
Pretty
in there.
Cool. Pretty cool. The first Tulip Festival was celebrated the following year on May 14th, 1949, with opening ceremonies still carried out on today as tradition, such as the sweeping of the State Street and the crowning of the Tulip Queen.
I am looking at some Albany tulips, and yeah, they're pretty. They're pretty cute.
Jim, I'm gonna make a bold claim. Tulip,
Sure.
favorite flower, hands down, favorite flower. I love that it comes from a bulb. The bulbs are weird. They're cool. Flower looks great. It opens up. It closes over the course of the day. It's pretty cool. It's a great flower. What's not to like about a tulip?
Who among us doesn't? That's what I want to know. Who out there isn't?
Well,
ring off in the comments, folks. What's your favorite kind of tulip, you speedy freaks and rattlesnake Pete's? What kind of flowers y'all into?
While we surely wait for at least maybe one response, let's talk about architecture, Jim.
Sure. The Empire State Plaza, a collection of state agency office buildings, which is like the opposite of a tulip, dominates almost any view of Albany. Built between 1965 and 78 at the hand of Governor Rockefeller and architect Wallace Harrison, the complex is a powerful example of late American modern architecture and remains a controversial building project, both for displacing city residents, that's par for the course, and for its architectural style. The most recognizable aspect of the complex is the Erastus Corning Tower, the tallest building in New York outside of New York City.
I believe we have talked about that tower.
We definitely talked about that.
Tallest buildings of upstate New York episode.
We sure did. Juxtaposed at the north end of the plaza is the 19th century New York State Capitol, the seat of the New York State Legislature, and the home of the governor's office. Shout out to Kitty Hochul over there holding it down. Albany's initial architecture incorporated many Dutch influences, followed soon after by those of the English. Quackenbush House, a Dutch colonial brick mason, was built 1736. Schuler Mansion, a Georgia-style mansion, was built in 1765. And the oldest building in Albany is the 1728 Van Ostren Radcliffe House at 48 Hudson Avenue.
Okay.
Albany's housing varies greatly, with mostly row houses in the older sections of town, closer to the river. Housing types quickly change as one travels westward, beginning with two-family homes of the late 19th century and one-family homes built after World War II in the western end of the city. So you have like a timeline that travels west. Albany City Hall, designed by Henry Robson Richardson, was opened in 1883. The New York State Capitol opened in 1899. After 32 years of construction, wow,
Damn.
At the cost of $25 million, making it the most expensive government building at the time.
Must have been the same firm that did the egg.
Sure. Just making that money hand over fist.
I gotta say, it is maybe one of the coolest looking state capitals. It looks bonkers. It looks like a European palace. It's very non-typical for a state capital, which, most just look like a miniature version of the United States Capitol building, right? We had a cool looking state capitol, I think. Not for nothing.
This was like before the White House, right? Like, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Albany's Union Station, a major Beaux Arts design, was under construction at the same time. It opened in 1900. In 1912, the Beaux Arts-styled New York State Department of Education building opened on Washington Avenue near the Capitol. It has a classical exterior, which features a block-long white marble colonnade. The 1920s brought the Art Deco movement, which was illustrated by the Home Savings Bank building on North Pearl Street and the Alfred E. Smith building on South Swan Street, two of Albany's tallest high-rises.
Cool.
now. As we round the corner and come to our almost the end here of our look at Albany, talk a little bit about the sports in Albany. Albany Devils, minor league hockey team that moved to the city for the 2010-2011 season. They played in the AHL and were affiliated with the New Jersey Devils of the NHL. The Devils replaced the Albany River Rats, who played in the Capital Region from 1990 to 2010 when they relocated to Charlotte, North Carolina. The Albany Devils moved to Binghamton, New York in 2017. Let's fucking go, baby.
Why haven't we talked about the Binghamton Devils?
Well, we got time.
Yeah.
We have plenty of episodes to go, so let's get to it. We have the Albany Firebirds, the Arena Football League, the AFL, from 1990 to 2000, and then a team originally known as the Albany Conquest, and later the Firebirds in the AFL. The AFL's AF2, the AFL's developmental league from 2002 to 2009. The Albany Empire played in the AFL from 2018 through 2019 when the league folded. A new Albany Empire was relaunched in the National Arena League for the 2021 season. In 2023, Antonio Brown bought the team after a series of problems with payments and personnel. The NAL suspended the franchise in the middle of the 2023 season.
That's rough.
That's hilarious. A relaunched Albany Firebird franchise began playing in 2024. The Tri-City Valley Cats short season minor league baseball team have played at the Joseph L. Bruno Stadium on the Hudson Valley Community College campus in North Greenbush since 2002. Man, you could have said minor league baseball team.
It's such a specific.
It's very specific.
Very specific sentence.
Prior to the Valley Cats' arrival, the Albany Colony Diamond Dogs, 95 to 2002, played at the Heritage Park in Colony due to financial pressures. What is going on?
Dude, there's so many failed teams out of Albany.
We got some embezzlement going on. What's happening? And facing impending competition from the Valley Cats, the franchise closed in 2002. The Albany Legends, the International Basketball League. Where are all these leagues coming from? I've never heard of any.
No, I thought about cutting out half of these. It's just like there's just too much weird shit here. I'm like,
no.
Their legacy as a sports city is just weird sports teams. It's great.
The people need to know. So the Albany, the Albany Legends, the International Basketball League, the IBL, played in the Washington Avenue Armory from 2010 to 2014 before moving to Schenectady. The Albany Patroons have played at the Armory on and off since '82 and currently play in the Basketball League.
Just the Basketball League.
Sounds made up to me, man. Legendary NBA coach Phil Jackson won his first championship ring as a coach when he guided the Patroons to the 1984 CBA championship. That is a legend right there.
I looked up what a patroon is. It's a wealthy landowner. It's a Dutch word for a wealthy landowner. It's like, what? All right, guys, maybe we go with something else.
Yeah, what a strange mascot.
Yeah.
On February 23rd, 2021, it was announced that the National Lacrosse League would return to the city with the relocation of the New England Black Wolves. The team was named the Albany Firewolves on April 15th, 2021. This is the second NLL team to be based in the area. The first, the Albany Attack, played in the city from 2000 to 2000.
I was going to say Albany Attack is such a early 2000s sports name. Like, my word. It's in your face.
It's right there. In 2023, the Premier Lacrosse League, PLL, selected cities for their 8 franchises, and Albany was chosen as the primary home base for the New York Atlas. In 2024, the Albany Firebirds began playing in the AFL at the MVP Arena. After one season in the AFL, the team moved to the AF1. And finally, the 518 Ballers in the ABA have played at Our Savior's Christian School since 2023. And that is the complicated legacy of sports in Albany. And in conclusion, our coverage of the 518 Albany, New York.
And we'll never talk about it again.
Never. We'll never speak their name because they would be on the downstate understanding. And folks, that is not what we are about.
It's true. Well, Albany, we hardly knew ye.
Yeah.
I hope we know ye a bit better after today's episode.
I'd like to think we learned a little bit more about it.
Certainly. I mean, I'm gonna be going down a Patroon and 518 baller rabbit hole this afternoon after we finish. Probably some other things too, but at the Tri-City Valley Cats, I'm very curious about all of these sports teams. Unfortunately, as we learned, like they spend so little time in each city. Like, I don't know if any of these will make a great topic, aside from the Binghamton Devils, of course.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of weird little regional sports teams there. But hey, Jim.
Yes.
No, it's not weird.
No.
It's when people...
Well, I do.
Well, sure.
Yes. But
it's not weird when people subscribe, rate, and review the show. Usually. We've gotten some weird reviews. It's happened.
Sure.
But
totally normal. Totally legit if you do it.
It's true. So, hey, help us out. Subscribe, rate, and review the show. Give us 5-star rating. Write us a positive review. Throw us your favorite sports team from Albany, and we just might cover it on a future episode. It'll help us out a lot. Jim.
Yes.
Do you have anything that you would like to plug?
I do. Well, before I get there, I want to paint a picture here. Right. Like, let's say you're playing for the 518 Ballers, right? You made the team and you're busting ass in Our Savior Christian School. You're at the top of your game. You're at the top of your prime and the world is at your fingertips. Well, what better way to show your display of excellence than to listen to some excellence with Upstate Understanding? That is my debut comedy album. It's a tour de force of laughs. What more can I say other than that you need to go buy it? Jimsearch.bandcamp.com is a place to go do it. It's available on all digital streaming platforms, so you can go get it there. It's on SiriusXM as well. And of course, album art by Adam Russell, shot by Matt Ely, executive produced by Rob Adler. Man, you wanna get in there and get you some of it. Jimsearchcomedy.com is a place to look for my dates for shows and the like. And of course, you want to hit up our show, understandingupstate@gmail.com is a place to email us. And of course, leave a review, leave 5 stars, leave 1,000 stars. Fuck it, man. I don't see why not. Rob, they've done all those things, but yet and still they have disposable income. How in the fuck can they spend it?
Let's just say that you've been mayor for a little over 40 years and you haven't accomplished a single thing. Aside from getting a specific tulip named after the town you're mayor of. But after that, not much else going on. You're going to go grab my album called New York Sticky or my EP or both if you're feeling crazy. EP being called... oh, God, what is it called? Cyber Punish. There we go. EP. The EP Cyber Punish. And you know what? Maybe buy 30,000 copies for your constituents and you give them out. Man, you're going to be mayor of the decade, right? It'll make up for all that you haven't accomplished, at least for a few years, right? So go grab those albums. Also check out our documentary called Understanding Upstate. It's available on YouTube. There's a link in the description. It's a look at the behind the scenes of the making of Jim's album that he had just talked about. And yeah, check out some of those things. Speaking of checking out things, we need a hint for what we're going to be checking out next week.
Oh man, get out your 607 playbill, folks. We got some culture ahead of us.
I like it.
For sure.
Well, we have a silly up pun ahead of us, so we can close out the episode. Are you ready for it, Jim?
I was born ready.
Jim, I've pulled up the Albany Patroons website, so I got to get out of here so I can start clicking through this thing.
Bye. Understanding Upstate is a podcast hosted by Jim Search and Rob Adler, edited by Rob Adler, and music from Regal Monk.